On U.S. Highway 101 in the heart of Silicon Valley and in New York City's Times Square, billboards recently beckoned workers to Canada. They harped on well-known problems in America's legal immigration system that make critical workers wait months for visas to enter the U.S. if they can get them at all. Despite growing competition for talent from abroad and pleas from U.S. businesses to help solve a critical worker shortage that is especially acute in tech and healthcare, the U.S. political system is gridlocked on immigration reform.
The United States is effectively discouraging potential healthcare workers from trying to come to and work in the United States. That needs to change. What we need are system-wide reforms that incentivize and welcome immigrants into our healthcare workforce.
Senator Cornyn from Texas even sponsored a bill last year to ease the visa process for healthcare workers. But he highlighted recently why illegal immigration stymies solutions on the legal side.
It's hard for us to make progress on areas even where there's consensus on the topic of immigration while the border is on fire.
The battle over immigration reform is hamstrung by the fight over securing borders, pathways to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, and concern that temporary visa workers invite companies to exploit foreigners and displace or underpay American workers. And yet economists and immigration experts say solving the nation's legal immigration problem can help reduce inflation, ease that worker shortage, and maintain America's technological lead. Among the fixes these experts say are desperately needed: an increase in the quotas for H-1B visas for specialized workers. The annual quota of 85,000 was set in 2004 and hasn't been changed since. A special carve-out for badly needed healthcare workers, both to enter the U.S. or, when they're already here, a relaxation or a change in licensing requirements so they can work in their trained field. A path to citizenship for foreign students who obtain advanced degrees in the U.S. so the nation can retain the talent it trains. Protections for U.S. and foreign workers from abuses of the visa program.
Another issue with the H-1B, which I've written extensively about, is the way that the wage rules are set up, which have allowed employers to underpay many workers by tens of thousands of dollars a year.
But even critics like Costa agree the quotas need to be increased. Many warn that if the U.S. doesn't find a way to bring in more of the world's best talent, other countries like Canada will. Ottawa just announced it will boost its immigrant quota by 100,000 by 2025 to 500,000. Before he was famous, a young Albert Einstein applying today for an H-1B visa program would have just a 1 in 6 chance of being admitted to the U.S. He might more easily end up in Canada. Immigrants accounted for 38% of Nobel Prizes awarded to Americans since 2000 in chemistry, medicine, and physics. 45% of Fortune 500 companies founded by immigrants or their children, including 20% directly founded by immigrants. So what we're talking about, Brian, is not necessarily Nobels and companies founded today or tomorrow, but 5-10 years from now, if we don't have that flow of immigrants, we may not have that flow of invention.
You know, Einstein gets all the attention, right? He should, okay?
Right.
But somewhere there was some U.S. immigration official back in the day who decided that we needed more wild-haired patent clerks in America. And No?
It's interesting you're saying that because I looked into this a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what
he wasn't a patent
came in
clerk
under
at that time.
If Einstein was Einstein, he was famous. We have a way to get him in. It's an O1 visa for pretty much for famous people.
Because he was already famous by this celebrity.
But my point was, if he was a young Albert Einstein, a patent clerk with a crazy idea in his head about E equals MC, I'm not sure what yet.
Yep.
1 in 6 chance of getting in under those circumstances.
Yeah, so he got in because he was famous already. But the younger Einstein would have been living in like Winnipeg, Manitoba.
If a company identified him as a candidate they wanted to bring to this country, you know, that's who would come in through H-1B, and that's about 500,000 business applications, 85,000 awarded. That number, Brian, has not changed since 2004. And not only that, but it's the same darn dash lottery that you do for medical care workers, high-tech workers, and anybody else who comes in with a specialized degree.